Welcome to the Digital Edge.
Great to be here.
Today, we're looking at a really compelling story. Anthony Tan, the guy behind Grab.
Ah, yes, Grab. It's huge now.
Exactly. But what's fascinating is how it started. Facing down doubts, serious challenges.
To build what's now Southeast Asia's, the leading super app, really.
Totally. Transport, delivery, payments. They're everywhere across, 8 countries?
That's right. It's an incredible arc from those early struggles. So we're digging into how Tan navigated all that.
Yeah. How did he turn those setbacks into a billion-dollar company?
Yeah.
Let's start at the beginning. His background.
Okay, so he comes from a prominent family, right? Involved with Tan Chong Motor.
Yeah, the big auto distributor. So some privilege there, definitely.
But it wasn't just handed to him, it seems. He was trading comics at 11, fundraising at 14.
It shows that early entrepreneurial drive, doesn't it?
It does. And apparently his father, despite the family business, really pushed hard work, high expectations because of the privilege, maybe?
Interesting angle. And he spent time on the factory floor, too.
Yeah, even attended union meetings. That probably gave him some real insight into the workforce. Helpful later with Grab drivers, I bet.
Okay, fast forward to Harvard Business School. That seems pivotal.
Absolutely pivotal. That's where he connects with Tan Hoiling, his co-founder.
And they zero in on the problem. Malaysian taxis.
Yeah, the inefficiencies, but also safety concerns, right? Especially for women, that was a big motivator.
So the initial idea for a booking app focused on safety, that comes out of their MBA work.
Exactly. They even won second place in the HBS New Venture competition in 2011, got $25,000 seed money.
Not bad, but also crucial feedback, apparently.
Yeah, the judges basically said, think bigger, don't just limit this to Malaysia, think regional.
Right. But taking that plan from Harvard into the real world, that's where the friction starts. His father wasn't keen initially.
Not at all. Apparently quite discouraging. Imagine your own father doubting your big idea.
Ouch. But his mother stepped in.
Yes. A crucial early investment. She admitted she didn't fully get the tech, but she believed in him. That faith, plus the prize money, was vital.
So they launched MyTaxi, the original name, June 2012, Kuala Lumpur.
Humble beginnings is an understatement. Their first office was basically a storeroom, I read. Bad conditions, shared internet.
Wow. And then the core challenge, getting taxi drivers on board. Many didn't even have smartphones back then.
That was a huge block, so they had to get creative. Partnered with a Korean phone company, I think?
Yeah, to supply phones through microfinancing for the drivers. Super resourceful.
It addressed that barrier directly. Very smart.
But it wasn't just about phones. It was winning trust. Tell me about these tete-a-tete sessions.
Ah, the coffee sessions. Brilliant, really. Held fortnightly, just informal chats over tea or coffee.
So less about free drinks, more about listening.
Exactly. Gathering direct feedback, hearing frustrations. The engineering team was even there, tackling tech issues hands-on.
That's how you build loyalty, turning critics into advocates.
Precisely. And that feedback loop was gold for improving the service constantly.
And they didn't just wait for drivers. They went out looking for them.
Oh yeah, real on-the-ground tactics. Coffee shops, gas stations, even at 4 a.m. in Vietnam, apparently.
Yeah.
Airport queues in Singapore.
That's some serious hustle. You got to admire that dedication.
It showed they understood they needed different approaches in different places, not just a copy-paste model.
Okay, so they're growing, but then comes the unavoidable giant, Uber.
Right. The competition became intense, head-to-head across the region.
Must have felt like David versus Goliath.
Probably did. But Anthony Tan's perspective was interesting. He saw Uber's presence as something that actually pushed Grab to be better, sharpened them.
Iron sharpens iron. And Uber did make some mistakes in Southeast Asia, didn't they?
They did. They were slow, for instance, to adopt cash payments, which are huge in the region.
Grab jumped on that, right? And motorbikes, too.
Exactly. Grab was much quicker, adapting to local needs cash, Grab-ike in relevant markets. That local understanding was key.
Which leads us to that massive moment in March 2018.
The acquisition. Grab buys Uber's Southeast Asia operations.
Huge deal. Uber got a big stake in Grab, 27.5%.
Yep. And Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi even joined Grab's board.
That really cemented Grab's dominance in ride-hailing, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It was a game changer, marked them as the clear regional leader.
And from that foundation, they just kept expanding. Grab Car, Grab Bike, then Grab Food, Grab Pay.
Grab Express, Grab Mart, Grab Finance. The list goes on. It became the super app.
An ecosystem, really, covering so many daily needs for users and drivers.
And that ecosystem mindset was strategic. More services mean users stick around more. Plus, GrabPay helped digitize payments, making things safer for drivers too. No need to carry lots of cash.
The impact is just huge. You mentioned millions of jobs or income opportunities.
Yeah, as of 2023, something like 13 million gig opportunities created through the platform. Tan often talks about being proud of that impact on livelihood.
And they're still innovating,
Yeah,
pushing into AI.
definitely. Things like a voice assistant for visually impaired users shows they're still thinking about access and improvement.
Of course, building all this, it must have taken a massive personal toll.
Immense. We're talking 15, 20-hour days in the early years. Insane work ethic.
And that initial friction with his father? You mentioned he was disowned for a time, for not joining the family business.
That's the story. It highlights the huge personal sacrifices involved in chasing this kind of vision. It wasn't just business challenges.
He seems very grateful, though, to those who believed early on. The unnamed heroes and angels, he calls them.
Yeah, he stresses how hard startups are. Says it needs to be more than a job, like a life calling.
And that focus on solving real problems for underserved people seems core to their differentiation.
I think so. That grounding in real world needs, not just tech for tech's sake.
And then the ultimate validation, perhaps, going public.
The NASDAQ IPO in December 2021, huge milestone, valued at nearly $40 billion at the time.
Wow, that really put them on the global map as a major Southeast Asian tech player.
No question, cemented their status.
So when you boil it down, Anthony Tan's story is really about, well, incredible persistence, isn't it?
Persistence, adaptability, learning from those early doubts and failures.
And having this deep connection to the market and its people. Those early coffee sessions weren't just PR.
No, they were fundamental. That willingness to listen, adapt, overcome skepticism, that's how they went from that tiny storeroom office to regional dominance.
It's a powerful lesson in resilience.
Truly is.
So maybe something for our listeners to think about. What challenges, maybe ones that seem insurmountable right now, could be tackled using some of these principles? That relentless focus, learning from stumbles, serving a real need. Could that open up a path?
Food for thought, definitely.
The Digital Edge,